Back in 2014, I was working for a relatively large manufacturing plant in Vermont. The shift that I worked was 12 hours, from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. Everyone in the facility worked these long hours. So in return, the owner of the company allowed us to have 1 hour sleep breaks in our cars, so long as we didn't abuse the privilege. For the sake and safety, we had to drive off-site for these breaks, but the company was located in the forest, so we could pull alongside the road that leads up to the plant and still be able to sleep in pitch black darkness. Usually, I would take my sleep break at the same time as my coworker, so we could park behind each other and make sure that the other person did not oversleep. This day, however, my coworker was out sick, so I would be taking my break alone. The alarm on my phone went off at 11 p.m., which told me it was time to get a nap in. I grabbed some chips from the vending machine on the way out and walked into the parking lot. Once I was inside my car, I rolled down my windows to let the spring breeze blow through. It was the middle of May, so it was just cool enough to not cook yourself inside the car. I proceeded to drive out the security gate and up the hill that overlooks the work site. All in all, it was probably a 3-minute drive. I put my car into park and finished my bag of chips. The air felt so good that I decided to leave my windows rolled down while I slept. I reclined my seat, set an alarm on my phone for 12 a.m., and closed my eyes. Before I knew it, I quickly fell asleep to the sound of frogs and crickets chirping in the forest. I remember waking up to the sound of something rustling along the forest out my passenger side window. I instantly thought it was a bear, although I've never seen one in the 10 years that I have lived here. It might be a deer, I thought, but I rolled up my windows just in case. I strained my eyes to see what was moving along the forest, but I couldn't make out any shapes beyond the first row of trees. The noise had stopped, and I continued to look for another 5 or 6 minutes. Yeah, it must have been a deer. Usually, I'm not this cautious, but when you just wake up from a nap, your mind has a tendency to overthink the little things. I looked at my phone and saw that only 30 minutes had gone by since I parked, and decided I was going to try to make the most out of what little time I had left. I went to recline my seat, and my eyes were met with a disheveled-looking man that had his face pressed up against my driver's side window. I jolted, and every hair on my body felt like it had electricity running through it. He widened his eyes after he saw that I noticed him. And he said in a low voice, almost as if he were whispering, "Hey, can you give me a ride to the store?" I turned the keys in my ignition, and at the same time, I heard the handle of my driver's side door trying to be opened. The man started pounding on the glass, and I floored it out of there, and I did not look back at all. I just remember keeping my head down in case he had a gun and tried to shoot at me. I did not stop until I was at the security gate to tell the guard what I had saw. The guard looked extremely concerned and radioed for backup at his station in case the man tried to enter our site. The police were contacted to search the perimeter of the fencing that runs around our entire company, and they reported they were not able to find anyone out along the road. From that day on, I never took another sleep break, and now I am extremely cautious of my surroundings every time I am in the parking lot of work. It has been 6 years since this event, and I still sometimes feel like I'm going to see his face pressed up against the window of my bedroom one night.